My name is Sally, and something on the internet's made me mad again. I have been in the middle of making a video about the Swiftologist and Adam McIntyre and that whole situation, and how the Swiftologist is coming in after Adam McIntyre, like the whole internet seems to be. And I got distracted. I have been so distracted by the thing with QTCinderella and Vanilla Mace and Katie and Hassan. I've been deep into this rabbit hole now. I got so distracted. By the way, I messed with my lighting. I don't know if this is gonna look any better or not. If it doesn't look better, I'll put it back. I feel like you can like see my whole face right now. It's weird. I'm not used to seeing my face this much. If you have no idea what happened, this is gonna be a really disorganized video, by the way. I have a lot of thoughts, and typically I write things out before I start trying to make a video, and I didn't this time at all. I'm going completely off my thoughts, and I feel like this is going to be such a nuanced conversation. I have a lot of conflicting thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts that don't really add up all the way. I have a lot to say about this, and none of it's going to sound very organized. If you don't know what happened, QTCinderella and Vanilla Mace and Katie were all playing games together on Twitch. And QTCinderella, just pretty much unprovoked, started just ranting about how people on the internet are really hard on her, about people in her life being homophobic or transphobic. We can probably include racist in that. She did not say racist, but she did specifically point out that her father is a transphobe. She said he can be transphobic sometimes. I don't love the way she said that, if I'm gonna be super honest. I think it's silly. Like, you're either transphobic or you're not transphobic. I feel like there's no sometimes. And she started just going off, like, completely unprovoked, and clearly making her friends really uncomfortable. Like, Vanilla Mace and Katie were just clearly uncomfortable with how much she was going on, and Vanilla Mace was, like, trying to defend her a little bit, kind of, and also, like, kind of trying to give her an out. And it was a mess. It was just such a mess. And the internet got up in arms, as usual, and started going after QTCinderella, rightfully so, I think. Like, I feel like the hate's been, like, a little overwhelming, but I also think it's kind of deserved. Again, like, I have a lot of very conflicting thoughts. Like, I think people were being really hard on her, but I think she also needs to hear what people have to say. I think what people are saying in response to her is really important, and I also think it's a bit much. Like, I feel like people are being harder on her than they are on actual bigoted people with bigoted views. I never planned for this. This is going to be a very political video, and I'm not super equipped to deal with this, but it's just fascinated me so much. I ended up watching Adam McIntyre's video reacting to what Hassan said as well, and I feel like I have so many thoughts on that. I do feel like people are being harder on QTCinderella than they are on actual bigots. Like, that's what I keep coming back to, but I also think, like, what she said was so stupid. Like, I guess, like, I can just start ranting about this, but, like, as somebody who grew up very conservative, and I just did not know any better, and grew up pretty racist and pretty transphobic, I can understand where she's coming from. Of, people need to change people's minds. Like, I do kind of agree with that. Like, if you are in a position to try to change someone's mind, I think you should, and I think you also need to know when to stop. Like, I feel like that's going to be my overarching point of, like, yes, we need to try to change people's minds, and we also need to know when all we're doing is just enabling them and then giving them gentle pushback sometimes. Like, I think we need to know when is too much, like when we're just giving them way too much grace. And I think in QT's video, the way she came off was just that she's giving them way too much grace. And then she also got really mad of like, well, quit trying to coach me, I'm never gonna change. And then be like, bitch, I'm an ally. Like, that's not how allies talk. Like, a good ally would just listen to their community. Like, I'm fine that she was trying to explain herself, because it sounded like somebody was kind of asking about like her friend making a transphobic joke. As far as I remember, that's what happened. And then she just went off. And like, I think it's okay to be like, yeah, I understand that happened, I understand your concerns. I'm trying to like change the person's mind who made the transphobic joke. Like, I think if she had just said that, people, yeah, I'm sure people would have been mad. I don't think it would have been this much. And like, I understand people being a little parasocial and wanting to like control people's lives. Like, I get that. But I also think if you want to say you're an ally, you can't just get on there. Like, I truly think a lot of this issue with her could have been fixed by her not being so defensive. Like, I feel like every time I make a video, I'm like, this is how you should have reacted. This is how they should have fixed it. But like, I think I think I have good opinions. I think I can tell people how to fix when they have internet trauma. I think I can tell people how to fix it. Like, I just feel like if she hadn't just been like, you're never gonna change my mind. Like, listening to QTCinderella get on her stream and go, you chat, you are never going to change my mind on this. Like, if I'm nice to a hateful person, if I'm nice to a racist, I'm just not racist. Like, you can't like, I, especially as a white person, am not going to talk to what, there was like 10,000 people there, I think that's what they were saying, was there was 10,000 people there. I would never feel the need to go up in front of 10,000 people and say, I am not racist. Like, I don't care what you say, I'm not racist. Like, I'm not susceptible to, like, I'm not gonna sit there and say, like, I will never be racist. I cannot be. Like, I would say, like, yeah, I try to not be racist. I don't think I'm a racist. Like, I don't think I'm transphobic. I hope I'm not transphobic. But if someone's saying, hey, Valley, you're being racist, I'm just gonna be like, oh, shit, sorry, can you explain that to me? Maybe I should go, like, Google whatever I said that you think is racist or that was racist. Like, I would want to just know better. Like, if someone's telling me, like, Valley, you're being transphobic, I'm not just gonna sit there and be like, no, I'm not, you can never call me transphobic, because I'm just not transphobic. Like, everybody can be. Like, black people can be racist, trans people can be transphobic. Like, nobody is just, like, immune to ever doing something wrong. Like, that's just not how that works. You're never just immune to it because you're an ally. Like, I would like to think of myself as a good ally. Like, I am in the LGBTQ community, and I would like to think of myself as a good ally to POC, but that doesn't mean I'm, like, completely wiped of any responsibility of, like, continuing to learn. And I think that's how QT was reacting, of, well, I'm just not racist, I'm just not transphobic, I'm just not homophobic, so I am wiped of all responsibility of ever, like, listening to people who are telling me otherwise. And, like, that's never how it goes. Like, part of, like, if you want to call yourself an ally, I do think you're kind of obligated to be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep learning. Like, I think that's what people are asking of you, is just keep learning. And, like, I don't feel like that should be such a big ask. And, like, I can get on to, like, I didn't love how Vanilla Mace was reacting either, but I think people being like, no, oh, she was clearly agreeing with it. Like, yeah, kinda. I think she was just really freaking uncomfortable. Like, that's what I was getting at from her. Like, I got the feeling she was just really, really uncomfortable and just wanted that conversation to end. Like, I would have been. I think I would have been doing more of what Katie was doing. Katie? I'm so bad with names. I need to, like, write down the names of everyone I'm gonna talk about so I don't get them wrong. I'm like 90% sure it's Katie. Like, I think I would have been doing what Katie was doing and just sitting there completely silently, like, completely stunned at what she was saying, because, like, she was going off. She was being defensive. Like, she was being a lot. during her whole rant, like, I probably wouldn't have known what to do either. And, like, I understand, like, Vanilla probably didn't want to be rude and just, like, sit there, like, the whole stream while QT was trying to talk. Like, as much as I think that would have been funny as hell, I think that, like, I think that would have also garnered her a bit of hate on the internet if she just sat there, like, staring at QT as she went off on this rant. But, like, and I don't want to say I don't understand where QT is coming from either. Because, like, as somebody who grew up very conservative, I got my mind changed. Like, granted, I was very young. I was definitely younger than her father. Like, I was, like, 15, 16, when, like, a little switch went off in my brain and made me realize, like, how transphobia hurts everybody and why I should be empathetic to people. Like, that's something I did have to have my mind changed on. So I'm not saying, like, nobody can ever change anyone's mind. And, like, we can talk about, like, what Hassan was saying of, like, we need good allies. We can't turn everybody away. Which, like, I agree with. Like, we can't turn somebody away from the community the moment they're not perfect. Like, nobody's ever a perfect ally, and no one's ever a perfect advocate. And, like, again, I think he, like Vanilla, was trying to give her an out and be like, well, we can't just turn her away because she's not a perfect ally. I think the issue with that is, like, she's kind of telling us she's a perfect ally. Like, I actually didn't mind her apology video at all. Like, again, I watched other drama channels cover it, and I watched, like, Adam, and I watched Do We Know Them? Like, I watched them talk about it as well. And, like, I think her apology was alright. Like, it wasn't like Colleen Ballinger in the ukulele level of bad. Like, she seemed relatively genuine. But then, like, I also couldn't really take her seriously too much. Like, I feel like she was being genuine, but it was also hard when she was sitting there being like, I'm sorry. Like, it was giving very, like, anime girl. Like, that's the best I can say it. She was giving, like, sad anime girl vibes of that, like, I'm sorry that you guys don't think I'm very nice. Like, it was giving that a little bit. And, like, I understand that's probably just how she is. Like, that's probably part of her personality. And again, I don't like tone policing people, but that just seemed weird. But I also think that a lot of the things she said there was genuine. Like, it seemed like it was the right thing to say. Like, I think she did say the right things for the most part. Like, she did say, like, hey, I am sorry if this hurt someone. And I think what she was talking about in the first place of, like, I want to use my privilege to change people's minds and make people better and less bigoted. It's like, that's, like, a nice thing to do. But I think what I want to get at is, like, again, like, coming back to what Hassan was saying of, like, we need more allies. Like, this is the problem with the left of, like, we push people away when they're not perfect. And, like, yeah, I've thought that for years. Like, the reason I didn't have my mind changed earlier was I did see how, like, people reacted to somebody making a small mistake and was like, oh god, if I ever make a small mistake, I'm just a shitty person and nobody's gonna like me. Like, nobody on the left is going to, like, believe me that it was a mistake. So, like, I do understand that, like, yes, that is important that we are more lenient and we don't just turn on people the moment they do something we don't like. And I think we do need to spend a bit of time trying to get people on our side instead of just pushing them away. Like, that's how you go about getting people to vote and, like, getting people on your own side and getting people to not be transphobic and homophobic and racist anymore. Like, you do have to have some leniency, and you do have to have conversations with people that you may not like, or that maybe you do like and you don't like their beliefs. Like, I do think that's very important, and I've tried to do that to some people who I'm very close with. And, like, never friends, though. Like, I really like Do We Know Them's point that they were making of, like, I feel like with friends and family, it's so different. Like, you specifically go out and curate your group of friends. You don't always curate your family. So I do think when QT was talking about trying to get her dad to not be transphobic, like, I have empathy for that. Like, she clearly loves her father and doesn't want him to be like that. My cat's scratching at the door again. Fuck's sake. like, I have a lot of empathy for that because I've had that with my own grandmother. Of like, I would like her to not be like a freaking terrible person. And like, I have had some conversations with my father, who's pretty centrist, and gotten him to see my point of view on a lot of issues. But like, you can't do that with everyone. Like with my grandmother, who has been so brainwashed by like the Fox News right-wing pipeline. Like, there's just no helping some people. And like, I think what I was getting at with QT and the thing with her father was he just like continues to use the wrong pronouns for her stepbrother no matter what she does. Like, she didn't say anything along the lines of like, oh, he tries sometimes, like he does like try his best. And like, I think that's the point of like, if you're trying to change someone's mind, they have to be open to having their mind changed. Because I do think the difference is like, I wish I had a better way to put this, but like, there are some people who you can tell are very open to having their minds changed, even if they do have some beliefs that you wouldn't agree with as an ally or as somebody in a marginalized group. But there is a difference between people who are willing to have their minds changed by you and people who are not. And I think being able to point those people out and differentiate those two groups of people in this conversation is very important. By, okay, there are people who are more centrist and are very open to having their minds changed by people and open to a good discussion, open to a good debate. And then there are people who don't think other people should have basic human rights. And I think that since those are such two different things, you have to distinguish between the two of them. And I think like, if QT had said that of like, I try to change the minds of people who want to have their minds changed and who are generally open-minded people, I would have been like, okay girl, good for you. And I think if that's what Hassan was saying, I would have been like, yeah man, I agree. Sorry, I had to stop filming there for a second. But I was in my group there for a second and then I had to stop, and now I lost my train of thought completely. I was on about how we can probably change centrist minds, but we can't always change the mindset of people who don't want to have their minds changed. And I think like, if either QT or Hassan was just saying that, sorry, my camera keeps slipping. My phone keeps slipping. Like, I think if either of them had made that point, I think I would have liked that. And I think if either QT or Hassan had made that distinguished, I would have been fine with it. Just saying, I want to use my privilege for good and try to change the minds of people who are open to having their minds changed. I really think that would have made all the difference for me. But neither of them said that. And like, I feel like that's such an important thing to say in this conversation. Because if you're just hanging around people and trying to change the minds of people who don't want to have their minds changed, you're not doing anything. You're just hanging out. That is the difference between trying to change someone's mind and hanging out with bigots. And I don't think either of them made that distinction. And like, but I also think the internet's being really hard on her. Like, I think two things can be true at once. And like, nobody seems to want to have that nuance about QT. Like, it's either just, well, you're a bunch of sensitive snowflakes who can't just handle the fact that people have other opinions, or if she's just as bad as them and she's a horrible person. Like, I think she can just be like completely uninformed. And I think at the end of the day, like, that is the issue. She seems uninformed and she seems unwilling to be informed. Like, she really should have just said in the initial rant that she was going on of like, I'm willing to be wrong. I think that would have made all the difference if she had been willing to be wrong about her own views. I really think that would have changed my mind about this whole situation and changed a lot of people's minds about this situation. And something I really want to get into is like, I understand why you as an ally and as a straight white woman who is trying to use her privilege, feel like you can change people's minds. But at the end of the day, with the attitude of, well, I'm just not racist and you can't change my mind. Like, where, like, you can't then. Because QT's mindset is probably exactly the mindset that actual bigoted people have. The you can't change my mind mindset is the issue here. And like, I know she apologized, so like obviously her mind could be changed, but I really think that was the issue. And like, I do want to take her at her word for her apology, because I do think in the moment she got mad. Like, I will have the sympathy for her. Like, I think she got mad on stream. And like, I don't want to pick her apart for getting mad on stream. Like, I think we allow men to get mad at their streams all the time and get mad at their chat. And I think we should all allow that for QT too. Like, I'm saying, like, she's allowed to get mad at her chat and call her chat out. But I also think saying that, like, well, I am a perfect ally and you can't change that just because you say so, like, yeah, they kind of can. Like, if somebody from the LGBTQ community is saying you're not a good ally, as a good ally, you are kind of obligated to listen to that. If a POC is telling you you're being racist and you don't want to be a racist, you are obligated to listen to them, unfortunately. And like, I know that sounds harsh, but it's literally just listening to somebody. Listening to someone is not that hard. I sat there and listened to QT talk. It wasn't hard for me. Like, it's not a difficult thing to do to listen to somebody who has alternate beliefs. But I think for very bigoted people, that is hard. Like, and like, I understand for trans people, listening to transphobic speak is harmful to them. I don't know, harmful? That was terrible. I understand for trans people, listening to something transphobic is actually harmful to them. I understand why for a black person, listening to somebody say something racist is harmful to them. Like, it just is. Like, that shit cuts deep, like, very quickly. But I think for me, like, yeah, for me, listening to somebody racist will piss me off, but it doesn't, like, do lasting damage on me. So I understand what QT was saying. But I also think to change the minds of somebody who is deep in their bigoted beliefs, you have to be educated. Like, you have to at least be, like, you have to have some sort of education on that beyond just, I think I'm an ally, I think I'm not racist. Like I didn't just have my beliefs changed by somebody saying, well, here's where you're wrong. You know that, like, when you misgender somebody, you hurt their feelings. Like, that didn't change my mind. I was too deep in the edgy 14-year-old bullshit nonsense of, fuck your feelings, feelings don't matter. And like, honestly, that's a mindset that kind of has not left my head. Like, I still am a little bit fuck your feelings. I hate to say it, but like, that is where I know I will get caught up, as I am a little bit fuck your feelings. But I think, like, if you are trying to talk to somebody, I had to stop filming again. This has been a mess. I'm so sorry. This is not good. This has been such a mess. I just have a lot of thoughts, okay? But anyway, like, no, you don't. Anyway, like, I do think you have to have, like, a little bit of education in your brain to actually have a proper conversation with them. No, is it? I do think you have to be at least somewhat educated in order to have a conversation with someone with bigoted beliefs and actually change their mind. Like, I think you have to have a bit of education, and like, you have to be a better ally and not be somebody who says, well, shut up. Like, I'm just a great ally, I'm just not what you say I am. Like, you have to be better than that. You have to be more educated in order to actually change people's minds. Like, I guess that's what I think thing. And like, I understand what she's saying, I do. But I think when she's saying it like that, like, I just don't believe her, I guess. Like, I just don't believe that she's the type of person that can actually change someone's minds. And like, I know I don't know QT personally. Like, nobody except her, the people who actually know her in real life, actually know her personally and know what she's like off camera. And like, I did take a bit of issue with her being like, well, I'm just really bad in social situations. I just have really bad social anxiety. Like, I get it, I do. But like, that's just not relevant. Like, I do understand she needed to address the fact that she did just start ranting on the stream and drag her friends into a mess with her. And like, I also kind of want to get into the fact that like, she donated $5,000 to Vanilla's Trevor Project stream. And like, she was like, well, since you're matching. Like, I saw people saying that there was more context to that clip, like there was a longer message. I couldn't find that anywhere. All I saw was the censor matching parts. Like, if somebody wants to correct me, I'm so willing to be corrected on that. I would love to be corrected on that, because that was just coming off to me as like, I want my friend to be in a financially tough spot. Like, QTCinderella's been a popular Twitch streamer for a long time, and Vanilla hasn't. Like, I think she only got big like this spring or summer. So like, I'm sure she's not as financially stable as QT is. So like, that really bothered me. And like, I guess like, I want my whole point of this to just be like, I think we can change the minds of people who are open to having their minds changed, especially if we are well-educated people who know how to break down talking points of bigotry. But if you're not all that educated, and you haven't changed these people's minds, like, then you are just being friends with bigots. And like, I don't know where QT lands on all this, but given what she was saying in her initial rant, I would not be surprised if she was the type of person to just be like, hey, we shouldn't say that, and for the bigoted person to be like, you're being sensitive, and her be like, okay. Like, that's what I was kind of getting from her original rant. And like, you don't have to be a perfect ally, but don't get on as somebody else's stream. Like, get on a stream you were just supposed to be playing video games on with your friends with, and just say that you're perfect and you're a perfect ally and you'd never do anything wrong. Like, that's really how that came across to me. And I understand and empathize with the fact that she was getting defensive, because I think when you are expecting perfection of somebody, it is easy for that person to get defensive. Like, I don't blame her for getting a little defensive, but I also do think, like, I feel like she was showing her true colors a little bit, and I don't want to, like, put that solely on her, because I do think her apology was decent. Like, I saw some people, like, tearing into her for that, and I don't think that was right. Like, I don't think her apology was bad at all. Like, I think it was alright, but, like, I feel like in that stream, like, she got mad and showed us her true colors a little bit. And I believe her. Like, I believe that she keeps bigoted people in her life. And I also believe that she does try to change their minds. And I believe that she does that successfully, maybe sometimes. Like, I think, like, in the situation with her dad, like, if he just consistently refuses to use the correct pronouns for her stepbrother, then that is the point where you might want to cut him off. And like, I understand that it is a very privileged position to say you can just cut them off. Like, I can't necessarily just cut off my grandmother. Like, I'm not in a position to do that, really. And like, I understand why some people are and some people aren't. Like, I'm never gonna be the person that's like, oh, if your family's bigoted, you just need to move out. Like, yeah, it's not that easy for people. But I think QT is obviously, like, very rich. And, like, I understand, like, emotionally it's also not that easy to just cut off your family members. And even though, like, I don't think anyone would say that to her, I guess. Like I think some people would. But I think a lot of people would have the empathy to be like, yeah, girl, it's not easy. Like, it's not easy to do that, and nobody's expecting that of you. Like, I would. if she was just like, yeah, my dad is transphobic and I just personally have a hard time cutting him off, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you probably should. But I get that that's a tough situation to be in. That's a tough spot to be put in. And especially that's a tough spot to be put in by the internet. Not just like your own personal feelings on the matter. Like, I think that's very different as well. To have that be your own want to cut them off because it is hurting you and hurting people around you, and for that to be something that the internet tells you to do. Like, I don't think me getting on here or any other drama channel talking about this, getting on here and saying, you QTCinderella specifically, you need to stop ever talking to your dad. Like, I don't think that's helpful at all. But I do think it'd be helpful to say what I wanted to say, which is, if you want to change someone's mind, you have to be educated in some way. Like, you need to have at least, like, actually talk to the people you want to help. And, like, I wish she would have said something about, like, this is what my brother wants me to do. Like, my stepbrother. Like, I wish she would have said, like, because she did say, like, my stepbrother knows I'm not transphobic. But, like, is he happy with the fact that you've not cut off your dad? Like, does he want you to do that? Like, I think that would have been a helpful thing. And, like, not like that would necessarily, like, oh, because her stepbrother thinks she needs to cut off her dad, she just should do that. But, like, I would like to know his opinion as well. Like, is that something that bothers him? Like, I would like to know that. Just personally, because I'm a nosy bitch, I want to know that. Like, but I think it's more helpful to just be, you need to have a level of education to talk down bigotry. And if you don't have that, then you're not doing it successfully, and you're not helping anyone, and you're not being a good ally by being uneducated and just telling bigots that they're hurting people's feelings. Because the bigots are part of the fuck your feelings crowd. They don't care. Like, I don't think her dad cares. Like, again, I don't know these people, so it's hard to say. But, like, I would take a gamble that her dad doesn't care that he's hurting his stepbrother's feelings. I don't think her dad cares that he is hurting her stepbrother's feelings by misgendering him. Like, I would be willing to bet he doesn't care. And, like, I'm sure he's a decent dad, and I'm sure he cares about his daughter. I'm not sure he cares about hurting her stepbrother's feelings. So, like, I do think it would have been helpful for either QT or Hassan or any of the other drama channels to bring up the point of, like, to be an ally and to be a good ally and to talk down bigots, you have to be more educated than someone who says, you can't tell me I'm not a good ally. You can't tell me I'm being racist. To talk down bigotry, you have to be more educated than that. So, that's my main point, basically. Like, I don't think QT is really in a position where she's educated enough to really have meaningful conversations with people where she can actually change their mind. And I also don't think it's the internet's place to just rip into her and tear her down and be misogynistic. And I also don't think it's really our place to tell her that who she can and can't have in her life. Like, I don't think that's helpful. I feel like everybody in this situation, both QT and Vanilla and Hassan and drama channels, are being very helpful in this situation, because I think everything can exist at once. Like, you can have people in your life who you don't agree with, and you can also have people in your life that are generally terrible people and just see you trying to change their minds as you being too sensitive or something. And, like, you can call out creators when they go on horrible rants on, like, live on stream, and you can also be nice about that. Like, I don't think she's a horrible person. I just think she's very, like, privileged and very entitled. And, like, I like Hassan's point well enough of, like, there are bigger things to deal with. But I think there's always going to be bigger things to deal with. And I think we can deal with multiple things at a time. And I think with this situation very specifically with QTCinderella, I think we can focus on multiple things at a time. We can say, I'm grateful that she's trying to change people's minds, and also, I don't know if you specifically, QT, are really educated enough to do that. Like, I think that's a two-way conversation, and I think that's a very nuanced conversation that I don't think the internet is handling very well. Like, I think I either see people going all out defending her, or people just ripping her apart for this take, and I don't agree with either of that. So I wanted to get on here and put my thoughts out there. I'm sorry I had to stop this video like 4 different times. My cats kept getting up and bothering me, and also other people in my house kept getting up and bothering me. Also, I hope this lighting looks good. I tried to fix it. It's probably still going to be bad in my Swiftologist video. I'm still working on that. I started filming it when Adam McIntyre uploaded his video talking about the Swiftologist, and then as I looked in, I just kept finding more and more stuff, and I needed time to like edit that all together. So I hope this is a decent second video, and I hope you enjoyed. If you sat here and listened to me all the way through, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'll see you soon. Bye.